I am Nicolette Schipper Van Veldhoven. I'm a professor at Windesheim University and the University of Twente in the Netherlands. And my research focus is on sports pedagogy as well as on sport risks and safety. Research shows that 75% of children in organized sports experience some form of transgressive behavior. 2/3 encounter psychological transgressive behavior, and 1 out of 5 faces sexual transgressive behavior. And certain groups, such as elite and handicapped athletes, are more at risk. Perpetrators may include teammates, coaches, physiotherapists, doctors, or even spectators. So it is a big problem within organized sport. Despite decades of policy efforts to reduce transgressive behavior in sports, the rates remain high. Addressing these issues is complex as they are influenced by cultural norms, social standards, and beliefs affecting all layers of the sports system. So a cultural change is needed. A cultural shift is essential. Leadership is needed in policy making, macro level, within sports clubs, meso level, and especially among coaches, micro level. Every stakeholder in organized sport has a responsibility to ensure a safe sports environment. To make sports a positive, growth-oriented experience that enhances performance, a safe sports environment is essential. If you look at safety and the experience of safety, it's crucial for the learning experience of athletes. So if you want them to learn well, if they can make mistakes and can do their best, their performance will be higher. And they experience positive relationship with the coaches. So the adagio that bully behavior from coaches will help the performance because they have to be tough, it's nonsense. It just doesn't help the athlete to feel safe, and therefore he drops his learning potential. So it's instead of that, it's positive, it's more negative influencing the performance. And somehow within the organized sports system, it's grow into the mindset that the bullying, the tough part is needed to get the performance. And all science proved that that's not the case. And that you just have to have positive coaching to deliver also high performance for elite sports. So if you want to educate the athlete, you want to have high performance within elite sports, just do positive, developmental oriented coaching so that you will reach the top, and you keep all the kids inside because they will drop out with too much negative experiences. And we see that also within the in the fact that a lot of children stop playing sports because of the negative experiences. Athletes are also an important stakeholder within the organized systems. They do all the performances, they get the medals, and somehow we did forget about the athlete. The athlete is essential. To keep them safe is essential. To keep them positive is essential. And they have a voice. So why don't we listen to the athlete, what he is needed to get to his performance? Instead of that, we as coaches or as policymakers think that we know best for the athletes. We know athletes know best for themselves. So we have to give them a voice to reach out and also empower them that they also can influence the system. We need the voice of the athlete for the cultural change. We need to empower athletes that they say no, that they say, I don't want this at that way. And we have to redress the beliefs and the norms they think it's normal. So we have to re-normalize what's normal within organized sport. And that's difficult because people think what they think. So you have to influence thinking. And you can do that with knowledge. And we hope that with the BEST project, we try to reach the knowledge level for all stakeholders that they see it's not normal that we treat athletes like this. It's not normal. And also for athletes to believe that's not normal that they treat it like that. So they don't have to accept it. They can leave the system if coaches don't want to listen. And then coaches have nothing because the coaches do not get the medals, the athletes do. So it's their performance. So we need to take care of our athletes and do well for them and give them a voice. I don't know that it's realized, especially among athletes themselves, because we see in our prevalence research that teammates are the biggest group that are the perpetrators. So coaches need to address the group dynamics within the teams they guide. But what you see, and that happens with the Me Too movement, that society has to realize that it's not normal behavior. And we see that in different kinds of sectors. It's not only in sport, it's in the cultural sector, it's in the educational sector. So it's everywhere. And now with the Me Too in hand, it's difficult to say, but that's a positive for addressing also this behavior within sport. And of course, it also happens between coaches and the policymakers, and between maybe a physiotherapist that's not treated well by a coach that has a dominant say. So there where people are, it will happen. And we have to address that for all people, so that also within sports, it's safe for everyone and also for the coach itself. Because now with the Me Too, they are also afraid that they are accused falsely. And I can imagine, because what can you do? What can't you do? So we also have to educate the coaches what's allowed, what's not allowed, and how do we do that with each other. So we have to start a dialogue. And for a culture change, we especially need the dialogue about what's normal behavior within sport. What are our beliefs and which one do we have to address and make them better in a case that the children have a positive experience and develop in and through sports. Because that's what we think about society, that sport is a very good instrument to keep society well and healthy. But then we have to do the right things within sports. Otherwise, it's not healthy. It's unsafe. So also to create a positive effect of sport, we have to do the good things. And they have to realize that in itself, sports neutral. It doesn't have any effect. So also for the positive effects, you have to do the right things. It's what we call the pedagogical sports climate, a positive sports climate. And that also keeps the children safe. So we need a rethinking of the system, but it happens in the whole of society, and we need it for the whole of society to rethink what we think is normal behavior. Famous football player within the Netherlands, Cruyff, and he had also had famous arguments. And he said, you only get to see it when you want to see it. If you go look for the things you want to see, you will see them. So persons who don't want to see that it's also happening in the sport, it's also happening in the sport clubs, will not look. They don't want to address the behavior. I'm a behavior scientist. I cannot change your behavior. You have to do that yourself. We can only guide you the way, but then you have to make that step yourself. And the realization that safe sport is essential to get performance, essential to develop children, essential to get positive experience, essential not to drop out from sport for children, essential to be a healthy environment, that's the key. If they don't see the key, I can show them the door, I can give them the key, but they have to open the door itself with the key. And if they don't want to, what do? We have a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of materials. We can show them the way. And the most frustrating thing for scientists is that we have all those knowledge, but that they don't use it. So keep using the knowledge we send you. Keep using that what we provide with our BEST project, because I think we're right. And if you don't want to see that, well, how can we convince you? Other than with the prevalence, with the bad stories, with the Me Too. It's overwhelming what's happening in the sports. So I think it's impossible not to see it. So why don't you want to see it, I would say to them.